Hello, ladies and gents. What is this? Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. Guess what? I didn't know this, but apparently this is the finale, I guess like the mid-winter finale of The Haves and the Have-Nots. I did not know that. This is season 6, episode 34, I believe. And excuse me, this episode was a mess. It was a plumb fool. I actually enjoyed it a lot because it was just so silly. So we see Veronica. She's pissed because she notices that, wait a minute. Jeffrey, he's kissing a man? She was pissed. When I tell you she was pissed, she was irate. And to make matters worse, Jeffrey saw her and was going to continue on. And she was like, "What are you doing? Stop that. Stop that right now." I'm thinking, Jeffrey, your mother's cuckoo. Your mother be cuckoo. You better stop that, because we know Veronica is the type where she'll go and plot and twist. And so she was doing her usual. She was like, "What are you again? Madison, girl. She was doing her usual when it came to that. She was being very condescending to Madison, very rude. Jeffrey was over it. He was over her. And it was weird because in the last episode, I didn't understand what Jeffrey saw, but Jeffrey saw this booklet and it had Candace's name in it and it has Veronica's name in it. And that's when he remembered, I've seen Erica before. Erica was the girl who came to, that came to our house. And not our house, the Candace's house. Yeah. So you were working with her? So that's what you two were doing? Really? And you were doing this against Dad. You know what? I'm going to take this. This is evidence. I'm going to take it to the police and go against you. Veronica had that look of, well, you can try and see what happens. And she didn't really harp on that. She was still pissed that Jeffrey and Madison were doing whatever they were doing. She was disgusted. Like I said, Jeffrey wanted to taunt her, so he was trying to make her jealous. Well, not make her jealous. That sounds weird. Piss her off by continuing to kiss Madison. Madison was like, "Wait, yo, stop. I don't want to do this. Actually, I think I'm going to go." Jeffrey said, "Go? Why would you go? Where would you go? What are you doing?" "I don't think so." "No, you're not going anywhere." "No, dude, no, she has to go because this isn't her house." "Well, I have the key to it." I said, "Yeah, because you're a scammer. You went and got the key made. We know how this goes." Veronica, you are the worst. Jeffrey's looking at her like, "I despise you." He's trying to get Veronica out. Veronica was like, "Boy, you better not touch me. Just worry about touching the men's over there. Don't you dare touch me." And Jeffrey's like, "I'm tired of you. I am sick of this rhetoric. And let's be clear. This is ending today. This is stopping right now. You're getting out of this house." So then they get a tussling. Then they get shaken. They're not shaking the table. They're shaking the banister because they're on the second floor. But it's one of those tall southern houses. So the ceilings are all the way up. And speaking of all the way up, ironically, Veronica and Jeffrey were tussling so much that Veronica went and hit the banister, flipped over, and I said, "Jeffrey, you know you did that on purpose." I don't care what anyone says. Even though, no, I don't think he did it on purpose. He wasn't upset that it happened. She went in free fall, hit the ground. Well, actually, she hit a couple of boxes. So she didn't just go in free fall. I wanted her to free fall. But she hit a couple of boxes. And she's just kind of like, I said, "Veronica, really? Really, Veronica?" Even in, not death, but even in, medical need, you're just kind of sprawled out like, ugh, and her hair's going one way, her legs are going the opposite way. She has that splat look to her. Oh gosh, someone get her, please, because she is a mess. Now, aside from all of that, we see that Jim and Catherine, they're not getting too far right now. Jim and Catherine are on the same side, so Catherine goes and leaves. Wyatt is there saying his usual how he hates everyone, he's going to kill everyone, and they're all looking at him like, yeah, 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 if you say so, dude. What happens next is we see Catherine. Wyatt tells Jim that I was eavesdropping on Mom. I picked up the landline because everything apparently is still connected, and I heard she was talking to some guy, and he says the name. He said, wait, that's the manager at her hotel. And he said, yeah, so she's cheating on you, Dad. What are you going to do? Jim said, I don't care. I don't care. Is my pride a little bit hurt because he's a man? Yes. But aside from that, does he really care? No. Not only does he not, he doesn't really care. To make matters worse, Wyatt is thinking, oh, maybe we can do some type of camaraderie thing. You know, Mom's going and doing this. I mean, that's crazy. Why would she go and do that to you? Like I said, Jim does not care. Because Jim does not care, now Wyatt has to come up with a new plan. Because Jim's like, look, I don't have time for this. Back at the police station, things are finally starting to progress. So we see the police officer, well, actually, the new DA is talking to everyone. They're huddled, and Sarah comes in, and Sarah's like, what's going on? Well, George realizes that evidence is missing. The bullets are missing from the Cryer case. And he's freaking out, but thankfully they have cameras. She said, oh, at the entrances? No, in the hallways. Which means that she's about to be busted. She's about to be busted, and there is nothing that she can do about it. They actually see her, and they all look at her like, what the hell? Now, I don't know how she got away. I have no idea how she wiggled her way out of that. I thought on the spot they would have at least had to put her in for questioning. And so, because I said, it just doesn't make sense. Because next thing we know, we see her at the house talking to Jim. And as soon as she started to talk, I realized that, oh, she's wearing a wire. And Jim realized something wasn't right with her too. Because she was just flat. As soon as she came in, she was like, Jim, they know. They had cameras. They saw me take the evidence. They know that I took the bullets and gave it to you in the Jennifer Salson case because it was connection to the gun that you guys own. They know. Jim was like, what are you talking about, Sarah? What are you... Because remember, Jim is a judge. What are you talking about, Sarah? I have no idea what you were talking about, Sarah. What is going on, Sarah? That was Jim's way of saying, what do you think that you're doing? Like, really, what do you think you're doing right now? And, oh, it was a mess. Oh, it was a mess. Because then Jim goes and he rips open her blouse. And he starts like feeling on her. I said, Jim, we're doing a little bit too much. But then I realized, wait a minute, what's that black thing on her lace? Yeah, so Jim went and checked her bra, and I finally saw it. I saw, oh, okay, there is a wire. So now she's freaking out because she's trying to say, Jim, I'm sorry. You know, I tried to tell them, I tried to warn you. And he's acting like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you referring to? Smurf? Because Jim knows how this works. If he says too much, he'll implicate himself. So what he's going to do instead is he's going to go and he'll go and kick her out. And that's when Wyatt was just like, you know you're screwed, right? You know you're screwed. You know you're all but screwed, right? And Jim says, look, be quiet, whatever. And that was pretty much the end of what was going on with there. Because Jim then called David. And I said, David is still in the hospital. Jim called David as if it was a regular day and they were having a regular conversation. And I said, wow, David, so this is the guy that you call a friend. This is the guy that's supposed to have your back. Okay, David. He's saying, we have a problem. Sarah, she's been compromised. And I don't know. So we're going to have to go make sure everyone is in check. I don't know how they're going to do that because Veronica is Veronica. She's doing whatever she wants. She might be implicated for something else. So who knows what's going to happen there. But anyway, let's talk about something different. Hannah and Derek. Their relationship is really cute. And again, Derek is saying, why don't we move in together? Hannah's saying, what? Because Hannah was saying how she had a house before. The problem was that her house burned down. She did not have insurance. We remember that. And because of that, she eventually ended up here. Of course, she skipped over a couple of things, but she eventually ended up there in Catherine's house. So it looks like she is moving out. Like, I don't know what her plans are. She probably is going to move in with Derek, but she tells Derek that she wants to kick out Benny because Benny isn't acting right. So why should you have a roof over your head? Why should you have proper shelter if you're not acting right? And I agree. You can't enable people. Remember to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe and come back. And like I said, I agree. You shouldn't be enabling people. And that's what Hannah will be doing at this point. Benny doesn't have anywhere else to go. So that does make me worried about, okay, well, Hannah, let's just think about this. If Benny isn't with you, who is he going to be with? And is that going to be the safest thing for him to do? Like, what's going on? But Hannah kicks him out. Benny, again, doesn't have anywhere to go. So he decides, he's just going to stay outside on the porch. And Mitch calls Hannah because Mitch originally was trying to talk to Mama Rose. Mama Rose is pissed. Mama Rose doesn't want to hear that. She wants her money or she wants blood. It's one or the other. So now Mitch is like, I'm not sure how to handle this. I'm not sure what to do. Well, what he does do, his cousin's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. This is Mama Rose's decision. She's top brass. Unfortunately for Mitch, now he has to go and tell Benny, sorry, I wasn't able to deliver on what I said I was going to be able to deliver on. And Benny is freaking out because Benny's like, wait, but what does that mean for me? It's like, Benny, I mean, stay indoors. Don't do anything stupid. So Benny being outside, I don't know who he was waiting for. I don't know if he reached out to Candace or not or whatever, but he was outside. That's when Mitch calls Hannah. At first he says Hannah. I was like, excuse me? Because then he fixed it. She didn't say anything, but he did fix it himself. He said Miss Hannah. And I said, that's better. So Miss Hannah, you have to let Benny in. Why? Why did you kick him out in the first place? Because it was not doing right. No, but Benny, you have to. Why do I have to? Why? And he flat out said, look, Benny is in trouble with some really bad people. So it's dangerous for him to be outside and for him to be visibly seen. So that's when she realized, okay, that's all I need to know. She goes and she does what she needs to do as a mother, opens that door, but it was too late. The TV was very loud, so I guess that's why she didn't hear anything, because he got shot. They confirmed that he got shot. He could have gotten shot with a silencer. It's a nice neighborhood, so I wouldn't be shooting with a loud, gun. He could have gotten shot with a silencer. All we do know is that he's bleeding out. He's not dead, but he is bleeding out. So Hannah's just like, oh Lord, no, not another one. And I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, Hannah cannot take another death. She, maybe Candace's, but she cannot take another death. Not her baby, not her son, not Benny. That would actually kill Hannah. I know that for a fact. That would kill her. She's already half dead because of Quincy Jr. This would take her out. She would probably go right after him. So I felt bad for her when it came to that. Now, Hannah, let's see. So we talked about Hannah. Let's talk about Catherine. Catherine, she goes to the hotel. Remember, she's supposed to meet the manager. And the manager, it's like the room looks nice. She's happy. And he said, well, you know why I invited you here. Well, why? So that we could do it, really? And then he makes a mistake in thinking that he has actual leverage over her. He flips the script like an idiot, like an amateur, and tries to tell her, hey, I know there's a prostitution ring in your hotel, right? Told you that, right? Well, I'm actually the one running it with another person that you may know, Candace. Now, as we know, she despises number 9, as she used to call Candace. And that derailed everything, because now he's thinking, well, you know what? I know you have a lot of money, and here's what we're going to do. You know, she said, you're fired. You're fired. I'm kicking you out. He said, well, if you fire me, I'll sue you for, what's that word? Sexual harassment. And she was saying, sexual harassment? Really? Well, guess what? Don't worry about trying to sue me for sexual harassment. Worry about you living. Worry about goons not coming after you. Worry about you trying to file when your body's already 6 feet under. And so then that freaked him out. So then she said, you know what? And she starts taking off her clothes. He was like, what are you doing? No, you had the right idea. Let's do it. Let's do it now. So instead of him being in control and having, you know, sex with her in order to control the situation, now she's essentially showing him, you have a choice, but not many, because he just admitted to doing something illegal. She could easily say, oh, he told me this and I wasn't aware of that, so you need to go and arrest him. That's exactly what could happen. Now, after that, we then see, who am I thinking of? Because we handled most of the people. Candace goes and meets up with Charles because she feels like, She talks to Langdon, and Langdon essentially tells her, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? You used to be different. I'm thinking, she's always been this way. But no, he clarifies that she's always had an edge. She's always been a con woman, but she's just cold, and she at least was able to fake that she cared about people. She did care about people, but now it's just, and we know it's because of the death of her son. And so that whole thing of putting the hit on, not the hit, but going and getting her mother robbed and all of that, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. And that's why Langdon said, talk to Charles. He really likes you. He babbles on and on about you all the time. This is why we're still here. We should be gone by now. But this man really would do anything for you. And I said, Langdon, look at you doing your job, getting the man that you love, the woman that he loves. Isn't that an interesting world and an interesting twist? So that's when she decides, okay, she's going to go and talk to him. And Charles, apparently the hotel where they're at, the entire floor, it's only them. And so they go and they talk. And Candace switches it up. She acts soft and vulnerable. I said, oh, this is a con. This is a con. This is a con. Which made me realize, you know what? Why don't we go and, this is what Candace is planning, I bet you. It's like, maybe I can actually do more damage. And you don't have to stay with him forever. You just need to stay with him while he's president. So let him rehab her image, make things easier for her when she wants to go back out there and do whatever she wants to do going forward. My problem is that Candace is trying to say, you know, how do I know I can trust you? How do I know I can believe you? I'm thinking, is that really the correct answer? It should be the other way around, because you know you can't trust him. You know you can't believe him. He's the president of the United States that wants you and his people, and he's going to do whatever he needs to do to make sure that you eventually find your way back to him. And that's what happens. So then they start kissing, and they do it. And I think that was it. If there's anything else, please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know, because I don't remember.